Hello, dear friends. I'm absolutely honored and delighted to invite you to what I believe will be one of the most transformative experiences you could possibly have, a pilgrimage to Andalusia next July under the aegis of Ubiquity and Wisdom University. To take a pilgrimage is to make the deepest possible commitment to yourself, the most healing imaginable commitment. Because what a pilgrimage really is a way of attuning your whole being to the divine, while savoring divine beauty in buildings and in art, divine joy in the deep fellowship with others, and divine pleasure in the meals and the glory of the landscapes. For me, pilgrimage has always been a way in which I reconnected with the fundamental joy and ecstasy and peace of my own essential nature and everyone's essential nature. And in a time like this, which is so fraught and disappointing and frightening, and in many ways deeply saddening, what more important gift could you give to yourself than the gift of a pilgrimage to such a place as Andalusia, which is so filled with artistic beauty, glorious landscapes, wonderful food, and the traces of amazing beings who lived in Andalusia and who created some of the world's greatest mystical masterpieces there. Andalusia has always been one of my favorite places for the simple reason that it contains the Alhambra in Granada. And if you do not see the Alhambra before you die and savor its extraordinary, radiant, mystical beauty, you really have missed one of the greatest artistic and spiritual experiences of the world. Andalusia is also precious to me because it's the birthing ground of the dance form that I consider the most initiatory of all, and that is flamenco. Ever since I first went to Andalusia and went to a bar in the middle of the early morning in Granada and experienced the electric wildness of what can be discharged from a great flamenco singer, flamenco has been an obsession of mine, and I go whenever I can to be fueled by its noble passion. Andalusia is also the place where one of the greatest human experiments was practiced, and practiced successfully. And that experiment was of the conviviencia in the 12th and 13th centuries, in which Jewish and Christian and Muslim mystics lived not only in mutual respect, but in real mutual adoration and rapture, learning the deepest possible lessons from each other's amazing systems. And that's why I think a visit to Andalusia at this moment in the world, which is so fragmented and where religion is playing, on the whole, a very dangerous and fundamentalist role, whether it's Christian or Islamic or even, unfortunately, Hindu, returning to a place where the creativity unleashed by real, mutual, inter-religious, inter-mystical discourse is really a reminder of what humans can be at their very best and must now be for the future of the planet to be at all healthy. I'm especially overjoyed to be welcomed into the teaching team on this pilgrimage because I'll be teaching with two of my favorite people, Jim Garrison, whose brilliance and clarity and heroism have been a really constant example for me, Banafsheh Sayad, who is quite simply the greatest sacred dancer on the planet, and to my mind, the most important teacher of radiant embodiment, divine embodiment, that I have ever met. She's my teacher, she's my beloved friend. I'm in the middle of finishing a major book of dialogues with her about her vision of dance, her life, her understanding of the sacred feminine. And I can tell you from the depths of my own experience of her quite amazing teaching that she will help you, as she's helped me, come into your body and really begin to savor the miraculous life of the sacred marriage, this marriage that is the universe between transcendence and immanence, between the light and every cell of our being. Banafsheh is a true guide and a true pioneer, and is a legend in Spain because she herself, in the early part of her life, was a great flamenco dancer. And she knows this intense landscape and this world viscerally and will be able to communicate it to you through her teaching. What I'm going to be offering are three things. I'm going to be offering an exploration of the mystical philosophy of Ibn Arabi, who was born in Andalusia in the 13th century, and who is quite simply the greatest mystical philosopher of Islam, and one of the two, with Aurobindo, of humanity. Many people do not yet know Ibn Arabi, and this is partly because the major texts like the Meccan Revelations have only recently been translated into English, and also because he has a very lush and extravagant and both gorgeous and extremely precise style that's very demanding. But he's become, for me, one of the supreme guides to the mystical path, and I am really longing to share with you what I've discovered about him, so that you too can find in him the kind of sacred friend that Rumi found in him and Harvey's found in him. I'll also be giving transmissions about the authentic mystical path as understood by Jewish, Christian, and Islamic mystics. One of the great discoveries that you make if you dive into these three superficially different systems is that they have a very similar phenomenology of transformation. And I believe that there's a very great clue for our evolutionary future to be found in this extraordinary interrelatedness of vision that you uncover when you plunge deeply into these three disciplines. And I'm going to offer you what I have found myself so that it can be for you the kind of rigorous and grand guide into birthing your own divine human that I believe we desperately need at this moment. I believe that the classical mystical systems are absolutely precious guides to truth, and we must return to them because in their rigor, in their precision, in their sobriety, in their understanding of human fallibility, in their passion for the constant evolutionary power of grace, they offer us a map, a real and realistic and rigorous map that we all now need to get in alignment with. We've seen a great deal of idiotic mysticism being peddled in the corporate fascist market of the New Age, and it has enforced universal coma and stupidity, which really now are very dangerous, if not demonic. What we need is to return to the authentic springs of truth. And if you come to Andalusia, you will drink deep of those three wells of priceless wisdom. I will also be participating with Banafsheh, when she wants me, in the kind of program that we've taken actually all over the planet now, a program which we've called Dancing Your Passion, in which Banafsheh's teaching in the body and my Rumi teaching is interwoven in a seamless way to enable you to truly experience the sacredly transformative power of dance. Rumi, as many of you know, did not write his poems. They erupted out of him when he was dancing in a state of divine rapture and divine embodiment. And I know teaching in that way with Banafsheh is one of the great joys of my life. And I hope that I'll be able to teach in such a way with her that we will be able to draw you into the potent, vibrant, tremblingly intense and wild and joyful field of the beloved. So I'm asking you to make a real commitment to joining Jim and myself and Banafshe and a fellow band of wild adventurers in Andalusia next July, because I know that if you do, you will have an unforgettable experience, but you'll also be fed with tools and visions and possibilities that will inspire you tremendously for the very grueling journey ahead that we have in our time to take together and with joy. Thank you so much.